really liked it.
What about microwaving?
Perfectly fine, it works great. Just microwave in glass, not plastic. So, yeah. Quick cooking vegetables, you can put a sweet potato in the microwave, poke a couple holes, and it can be done in like 5 minutes.
That's right.
And it doesn't leach out all the nutrients, so excellent.
What are your thoughts on probiotics like kombucha and kefir and those kinds of things? Are they good, bad?
They are
indifferent?
excellent for you for your gut health. And there's not any specific recommendations in the guides right now, but in cancer, I work with a lot of people with GI cancers, we know that probiotics are good for our gut health. So foods that have probiotics are good to include in your diet. And because what helps them grow is the fiber that you eat. So I've talked about all the fiber foods, but I didn't really talk about probiotic foods. So yogurt, kombucha, kefir. We're using kefir. It's kefir or kefir. It's a probiotic yeast drink. We're using it in the hospital now for people in the ICU so they don't get infectious diarrhea. Pretty good stuff. So yeah, include those foods in your diet. I don't think that there's any evidence to take a probiotic supplement every day. So people get hooked on the idea that a probiotic's good for you, and the next thing they want to do is take a pill. These things don't necessarily translate over. So eating foods right now is good. The only time I take a probiotic supplement is when I've had to have an antibiotic course, which is very, very rare, but let's say you have to take an antibiotic, then there is good evidence that taking a probiotic afterwards for a couple weeks might help restore that good gut flora. But yeah, there may be studies in the future that they have people going and they're pooping, and they're studying their poop, and they're deciding what should you be doing to make your gut more healthy, because that prevents cancer. So it's very fascinating what's in the horizon for nutrition and cancer.
But if they got a cure for all these things, nobody make any money.
Well, I didn't say there was a cure necessarily. But
I mean,
Well,
these are guidelines.
we can cure ourselves. We can prevent a lot of disease by curing ourselves. What were the 5-star recommendations? What were the 5-star recommendations? We can cure ourselves. Remember the 5-star recommendations?
Exercise.
Exercise,
Body-
get a low BMI, and no smoking. So we can actually reduce our risk of almost all diseases dramatically by doing those 3 things. Now those are sometimes hard for people to do. So then the hospital would go out of business, because then we would have prevented our own diseases. And obesity is an epidemic in the United States, which is why we have so much diabetes, which is why we have so many other diseases. It does tend to fuel prostate cancer. So being lean and getting rid of the belly and trying to be more active is one of the most important things you can do to keep your PSA level, which is not the only measure, but keep your aggressive type of cancer from starting. It's actually really solid evidence.
Did they teach you in school how to prepare food?
Yes, I actually had to take cooking classes, but it didn't teach me what I know today. What I know today was trial and error and cooking classes and fun and videos on. You can go to YouTube. Do you have a computer at home?
No.
You can go to local cooking classes, just like at the centers. There's like the senior centers sometimes have it with the USDA, and have cooking classes. But you know what? With simple foods, you really don't have to do more than broil some vegetables and cook a piece of chicken. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be really gourmet cooking. It can be very, very simple and be healthy.
The steaming vegetables?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Microwave okay too?
Yeah, absolutely. Just microwave in
do it too
glass, as
long.
we
'Cause I
said.
have a steamer that sits in a shelf.
Well, start steaming your vegetables. If you don't eat vegetables, one of the ways to start is to get the frozen vegetables that don't have any sauce on them. Because frozen vegetables are easy to start cooking with, because you just zap them in the microwave or steam them, and there are all sorts of different types of vegetables. And most of them look for no salt added, but there are tons of good choices out there.
Do you know why they started using 81 milligram aspirin?
Why they did?
Yeah, because I was put on it and I don't know why.
Oh, well, aspirin's one of those things that you should talk to your doctor about. There's different philosophies. First, the idea was it would decrease your risk of blood clots because it's a low dose, but it won't cause intestinal bleeding. Now there's a little controversy on that out there.
Yes.
But for prostate cancer, it is one of the recommendations to talk over with your doctor, should you be taking it or not.
You say that if you hit your head real hard when you're taking that aspirin, you bleed. bleeding inside your head.
Not a low-dose aspirin, it would make you bleed that much. But if you're on a blood thinner for something else, then yeah, that can happen, if you're on warfarin or,
They started advertising 81 milligrams, you know,
well, you know why?
I was
Because,
told by my doctor.
yeah, years ago, people were taking full-strength aspirin and they would get stomach ulcers because it was still a part of their stomach, it was too much.
Huh.
All right, time's up for me. Feedback, too much, too little, just right?
Excellent.
Perfect.
Okay.